Vancouver is a city that almost never stops rain or shine, day or night. But tonight, everything changes. A rare Pacific snowstorm slams into the region with 4 to 8 inches of heavy wet snow, transforming one of Canada's busiest coastal cities into a frozen maze. Roads glaze over in minutes, cars slide through whitewashed intersections, and bridges turn into sheets of ice as powerful bursts of snowfall blanket the entire lower mainland. Across the city, visibility drops so fast that drivers barely see the road in front of them. Streetlights glow as blurred halos through the storm. Sidewalks disappear under rolling white drifts. And at Vancouver International Airport, normally a well-oiled machine capable of handling thousands of travelers an hour, crews scramble to clear nearly 6 miles of runway, buried under relentless waves of snow. This isn't the Vancouver people know. This isn't drizzle. This isn't mist. This is a full-scale winter shutdown, one of the most disruptive snow events the Pacific Coast has seen in years. Tonight, a city built for rain is brought to its knees by a storm it never expected.
10 after 3.
The first flakes fall quietly, soft, slow, almost harmless. But within minutes, the storm reveals its true intensity. What begins as a gentle dusting rapidly transforms into a thick cascade of heavy Pacific snow, the kind that sticks to everything it touches. By early evening, the lower mainland is coated in a fast-growing blanket of white. For a city that normally spends winter dodging rain showers, not plowing through snowdrifts, the sudden shift feels unreal. Temperatures hover right around 32 degrees, creating the perfect conditions for dense, wet snow that weighs down branches and clings to power lines. Streetlights glow through swirling whiteouts, casting a dim, hazy light on roads already becoming slick and treacherous. Neighborhoods from Surrey to Burnaby to Richmond report the same scene, cars sliding at stop signs, sidewalks frozen over, and people stepping outside only to realize the ground beneath them is already turning to ice. Environment Canada issues winter storm warnings, but the storm is moving faster than the alerts can spread. Within an hour, 1 to 2 inches have accumulated. Within 2, the region is buried deeper. Hills normally easy to drive become nightmares as tires spin uselessly on snow-coated asphalt. Even seasoned drivers begin abandoning cars near curbs or parking lots, unable to climb the steep inclines that wind through Vancouver's neighborhoods. What makes this night so striking isn't just the snowfall, it's how unprepared the city is for it. Vancouver is built for rain-soaked winters, not a coastal blizzard. And as the storm intensifies, it becomes clear that this is only the beginning of a night that will push the region's infrastructure, resilience, and resilience to their limit. As snowfall thickens, road crews across the lower mainland launch into emergency response mode. Long convoys of plow trucks, salt spreaders, and brine tankers roar onto highways with flashing amber lights cutting through the storm. Their mission is simple: keep the region's busiest roads open long enough for people to get home safely. But with wet, heavy flakes falling at more than an inch per hour, the challenge becomes overwhelming almost immediately. Major routes like Highway 1, Highway 99, and the Trans-Canada begin to vanish beneath a fresh white layer, faster than crews can clear it. Brine applied earlier in the day gets buried and diluted, turning what should have been slush into slick sheets of ice. Even freshly plowed lanes are swallowed again in minutes, forcing crews into an endless cycle of clearing, circling and clearing again. On the Port Mann and Alex Fraser, bridges some of the most critical spans in the region, conditions deteriorate rapidly. Strong winds sweep snow sideways across the deck, reducing visibility to a few car lengths. Traffic slows to a crawl as drivers grip their steering wheels, terrified of skidding on the icy surface hundreds of feet above the Fraser River. In residential neighborhoods, the situation is even worse. Streets in Burnaby and North Vancouver, already steep and narrow, turn into slick white slides, where cars spin out with the slightest touch of the gas pedal. Buses struggle to climb hills, fishtailing dangerously, before drivers are forced to pull over and wait for assistance. Intersections become choke points as vehicles get stuck, blocking entire lanes. Emergency notifications begin pinging across phones. Avoid non-essential travel. Stay off steep roads. Use extreme caution on bridges. Despite the massive mobilization effort, it's clear the crews are losing ground. The storm is simply too fast, too heavy, and too constant. For the first time all winter, Vancouver's road system buckles not from rain, but from a rare and overwhelming surge of Pacific snow. While roads across the region collapse into chaos, the situation at Vancouver International Airport YVR becomes even more urgent. By early Wednesday morning, nearly 8 inches of heavy wet snow have accumulated across the airfield, an extreme amount for a coastal airport designed to handle rain far more often than snow. Every hour that passes tightens the pressure on a system already pushed to its operational limits. Inside the airport's operations center, the atmosphere is tense and laser-focused. Monitors display runway friction readings, snow accumulation charts, ground traffic maps, and incoming weather radar loops that look more alarming with each refresh. Air traffic controllers coordinate nonstop with pilots, plow convoys, and de-icing teams, trying to maintain some level of movement as the storm intensifies outside. Out on the tarmac, visibility drops as whiteout conditions sweep across the runways. Plow trucks move slowly in formation, carving temporary lanes through the thickening snow. Their headlights glow through the blizzard-like conditions, illuminating swirling flakes that seem to fall sideways in the coastal wind. Every lap buys the airport a few precious minutes, but the snow fills back in almost instantly. De-icing crews race from gate to gate, in freezing wind blasting wings and tail assemblies with heated glycol. But with the snowfall rate rising, many planes need multiple treatments before they can take off safely. A process that should take minutes now stretches to nearly an hour. Aircraft line up at the edge of runways, engines humming quietly as they wait for clearance that keeps getting delayed. Inside the terminals, frustration mixes with disbelief. Departure boards flicker with updates showing delays, cancellations, and gate changes. Families sleep against carry-on bags. Travelers refresh weather apps. Airline staff do their best to stay composed while assisting long lines of stranded passengers. And yet, even amid the disruption, YVR continues to operate, thanks to crews pushing themselves through brutal freezing conditions. But it's clear, the airport is fighting a losing battle. If the snow keeps falling at this pace, even Canada's third busiest airport may not be able to stay open. By midday, Vancouver International Airport is no longer just busy. It's in an all-out survival mode. With nearly 6 miles of runways and taxiways buried under wave after wave of dense, wet snow, YVR launches one of the largest snow-clearing operations in its history. Convoys of plow trucks roll out like a coordinated army, blades down engines roaring against the wind. They sweep across runway 08R, then 26L, then the crosswind runways carving broad paths through snow that piles up as fast as they can push it aside. The wet Pacific snow behaves like heavy slush clogging equipment, enforcing the trucks to slow to a crawl. Operators grip the wheel with both hands as visibility drops to only a few yards in swirling whiteout conditions. But clearing the runways is only half the battle. Taxiways' apron areas and gate lanes clog with snow faster than crews can clear them. As soon as one section is plowed, another gets buried again. Snowbanks at the edges grow taller by the hour, narrowing the safe maneuvering space for aircraft. Fuel trucks, baggage carts, and ground crews move cautiously across icy surfaces, aware that a single slip could trigger a dangerous chain reaction. Meanwhile, the de-icing backlog keeps expanding. Each aircraft needs a full glycol spray before takeoff, but the snowfall rate is so intense that some planes require multiple treatments just to stay airworthy. De-icing vehicles race between gates with flashing lights cutting through the storm, but even they struggle against the constant refreezing. Pilots report worsening runway traction, forcing air traffic control to increase spacing between takeoffs and landings, reducing capacity even further. Inside the terminals, the human toll becomes unavoidable. Passengers watch through tall glass windows as plows crawl across the airfield, like bright orange dots fading in the storm. Families gather near outlets. Travelers pace back and forth, waiting for updates that never seem to come fast enough. Dozens of flights are delayed, many are canceled, and rebooking lines stretch across hallways. Despite the exhaustion, every crew member stays on the job. There's no break, no pause, no room for mistakes. If the plows stop even briefly, the runways disappear. If de-icing falls behind, the airport shuts down entirely. This is no longer routine winter weather. It's a full-scale battle to keep one of Canada's busiest airports alive in the middle of a coastal blizzard Vancouver was never designed to handle. Beyond the airport and highways, the storm reaches deep into everyday life across southern British Columbia. Neighborhoods that usually see only a trace of winter suddenly find themselves buried under 6 times 8 inches of dense snow. Driveways vanish, sidewalks become icy traps. Snow piles up on rooftops, weighing down gutters and bending tree branches that were never meant to carry this much weight. In cities like Surrey, Burnaby, Coquitlam, and Richmond, residents wake up to a morning that feels strangely quiet, almost eerie. The hum of traffic is gone. Instead, the streets echo with the slow scrape of shovels and the crunch of boots pressing into frozen layers of snow. Cars left outside overnight resemble white mounds, their windows sealed under frost so thick it looks carved from glass. Public transit begins to fail. Buses lose traction on steep hills, sliding sideways before drivers abandon routes altogether. Trains run on reduced schedules as switches freeze and tracks accumulate snow faster than maintenance crews can clear them. Commuters checking transit apps see delay after delay, each timestamp pushing further into the morning. Businesses struggle to keep their doors open. Delivery trucks crawl down narrow residential roads at walking speed tires, spinning on icy patches hidden beneath fresh snow. Grocery stores fill early as residents rush to stock up, worried more storms could follow. School districts debate whether to close, ultimately shifting many campuses to remote learning, once reports of icy walkways and inaccessible roads pour in. Emergency dispatch centers grow overwhelmed. Tow trucks hop from one stranded vehicle to the next. Police respond to dozens of minor collisions within hours. Ambulances navigate streets covered in a slippery, unpredictable mix of ice and wet snow. Firefighters clear fallen branches blocking driveways. Utility workers respond to outages caused by snapping limbs and sagging lines. Neighbors help each other push stuck cars or shovel paths to their front doors. For a region built around mild coastal winters, the transformation feels surreal. A city slowed, silenced, and reshaped overnight by a storm powerful enough to bring daily life to a near-complete halt. The storm has not only disrupted transportation, it has disrupted rhythm, routine, and normalcy, leaving Vancouver and the surrounding communities facing a recovery that will last long after the snow stops falling. As the storm finally begins to ease, Vancouver emerges into a quiet, frozen world. Roads remain encased in ice, sidewalks crunch under every step, and snowbanks line the edges of major streets like walls carved overnight. At Vancouver International Airport, exhausted crews continue clearing what's left of 6 miles of runway, still fighting lingering ice and compacted snow. Across the region, buses move slowly, businesses reopen cautiously, and residents begin digging out from one of the most disruptive winter storms in recent Pacific Coast history. This wasn't just a snowfall, it was a stress test, a test of infrastructure, a test of preparation, a test of how a coastal city built for rain responds when winter suddenly hits at full force. And despite the gridlock delays and disruptions, the storm also revealed something else: resilience. Neighbors helping neighbors shovel sidewalks, strangers pushing stuck cars, crews working all night in freezing winds. A community adapting in real time to conditions it rarely sees. But the big question remains. With extreme weather becoming more unpredictable every year, will Vancouver and other coastal cities be ready for the next rare winter blast? Only time will tell. If you found this breakdown helpful or fascinating, hit like it really supports the channel. Share this video with friends or family who love extreme weather stories or live in snow-prone areas. Subscribe for more real-time storm coverage, dramatic breakdowns, and extreme weather analysis across North America. What's the most intense snowstorm you have ever lived through? Did your city shut down the way Vancouver just did? Share your story in the comments. Your experience might help someone stay safe in the next big winter event.